Morning team, morning everyone, hope you're doing good. All right, I've not had the greatest 24 hours, as some of you would have seen live on streams yesterday, so I'm going to take it very, very easy today. Did not sleep well yesterday either, but as always, we're going to get into the charts. All right, we're going to start in the charts. Make sure if you're here, you're fit and able to trade. If like me, you're struggling this morning, if you're tired, if your body's tired, you're mentally exhausted, just take it easy. Don't be afraid to just sort of chart today and look. It doesn't look like we're getting a huge amount of setup anyway. As always, we're going to focus on these daily charts, right? I've put adjusted on this chart, all right? So this is an NQ1. If you see, we have what looks like a gap up. It's not a gap up. It's because the contract has now rolled over, all right? So I've just put adjusted on just to fill that gap and move everything up a bit. And I have replaced my boxes and things like this. So as you can see, we're still trading at this top Bollinger. We are trying to hug onto it at the moment. 5 days a little far away at 382, but remember, this gap isn't a real gap, so we need to be aware of a few things here. But it's possible that we just drift in this zone, anywhere in this zone, and wait for FOMC tomorrow, where we're going to get fireworks, unless they start going risk on or risk off prior to that, because they've got an early read. I don't really expect a whole lot to happen today, folks. All right, I'm not really expecting a miracle today, but let's have a look on the hourly charts and dig into some more information. Make sure you can see all this. All right, hourly here. So yesterday, you can see this strong hourly trend is continuing. All right, it's been here since the beginning of the month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on it so far as we keep grinding higher. These are adjusted weekly levels if you want to have a look. If you're trading off the newsletter, if you're trading the old contract, you're still fine. If you're on the new contract, you will need to adjust these levels. You're probably going to have to increase the levels. How much by? Let's have a look. NQU. Let me just check this for a back date. All right, NQU high of day is at 416, and this here. So you're going to have to adjust it by about 132 points. Is that right? 232 points, sorry. 232 points higher than new contract. I think that's about right. So if you're trading that new contract and you're trying to change the levels of the newsletter, that's what you're going to have to do. Otherwise, I've measured these out for you. You can note these. So what are we looking at? Well, yesterday, what do we get? Pop and grind, just the same thing. Grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. Nothing really happened until we got into Asia and London, and we got that move up. All right, that move coming in Asia and London, not really in the New York session. So what's available today? Well, in normal circumstances, there'd be 2 available trades. All right, we could think about the gap fill, which is about in this box. All right, if we peak above and fail, gap fill is possible. If we fail to make a new high, a gap fill is possible. What is also possible? A pullback towards the gap, all right, and then finding bids, or a flush under that gap and finding bids, especially on yesterday's value. If we close that gap, all right, and we start to let go of the gap and let go of value, there's a rotation to where? To value, area low, and point of control. There's not a lot to play with here, all right? You're playing with 30 points. Most of yesterday, like we talked about on stream, was in a 30-point range, right? So this area here, very, very, very tight. So we're all either looking for a rotation down to that and a bid back off it, or here, or we're looking for a breakout and a grind up, or a fail breakout and a move down. In this area here, this is what we kind of expect, all right? And it can come deeper somewhere down here. This is sort of your chop zone that they've set overnight. If we start letting go of previous date levels for any reason today, but I would imagine this would become tomorrow, if we leave some kind of island high here and we come down here and we break, then we can trade to weekly value levels. And if they really start getting heavy, then we can come and clean some of these guys up later on in the week and next week. But at the moment, we're in a bullish trend on the hourly. We're a bullish trend weekly, monthly, daily. Everything's bullish right now. But we have got an hourly pullback here. So I would be watching this kind of level here, 615. That's where buyers got stuck in London. You can see this pullback, failed follow through, This is your 615 level. That's your over under, because if this is a 2-leg, if we reclaim 615, they're going to go for highs. If they keep getting stuck at 615 or 615-ish, then that's a key over under level to trade back down for the gap fill. All right, if you look at the chart above, you can see how we've drifted in Asia. All right, this is very similar, squeeze and drift. London repeats it, holds the Asia high, squeeze and drift. And coming into New York now, we're coming back down to this Asia low. So choice to be made here into sort of, is that 615, 615, 620, somewhere in there. Choice to be made in here. Do we break down from here and come back for the gap and the Asia level? Or do we reclaim this? Is this a 1-2 and we just keep drifting higher into FOMC? Time will tell. I have not got a whole lot of edge here, but what I would say is if you're going to be short, you better be in scalp mode right now. In fact, if you're going to take any position right now on rollover, I would be somewhat in scalp mode, right? You've got to be careful. Bookmap, I'm going to talk about that very quickly because I'm going to have it above. I've got both of the contracts open now, all right? So you can see both of them in case we move. I've already flipped over to NQZ. Didn't really want to do it, but given that TradingView has kind of forced my hand, I've moved over. I will be referencing both of these so I can have a look at both at the same time. And you'll see that above me now, so you can see both of the order flows. Let's have a quick look elsewhere. ES, I think, might have closed the gap or getting very, very close. What is that? 4 o'clock print? No, miles away. Absolutely miles away. What am I talking about then? Let me have a look at the spiders here. Oh, it's the spiders which are a bit close. We need this adjusted. That'll help. There we go. Okay, that's why. All right, so gap on ES, previous day high, so far holding above. All right, definitely got buyers overnight trapped up here. We're in trend down. If we reclaim 690, reclaim of 690, we're probably looking for the 700s, I would say, on ES. VIX, interestingly, is stuck at its supply. All right, went over this yesterday. This is not what you want to see. All right, this is the market in a very typical rollover. All right, there's your low, there's your higher low, there's a higher low. If we are expecting a higher high, we're expecting a breakout on the VIX. That should add sell pressure on the market. But as we saw yesterday in this move higher, the market did not sell. All right, so you want to be careful here. You've got divergence between the VIX and the contracts because we are in a quad witching. Let's have a look at the Mag 7. Apple here looking pretty good. All right, gapping up again, or holding its gap at least. All right, there's your base. Here's shoulder 1. Here's shoulder 2. Any hold of this, we are looking for higher prices. If we come and take out 41s, then we can probably put in a pretty decent squeeze. If we take out 41s, yeah, somewhere up here, then we're going to really be looking to do this. All right, you can see what's been built out. Right, they were looking for this, and that will be a all-time high break, I believe. Let me just check that. Yeah, it will, which would be nice for me. I'm still holding from 200s on a swing. Let's have a look at Amazon. Same kind of story here. Amazon slightly different in terms of structure. All right, we have got some overhead supply here. So 35s, let's call it. All right, if Amazon's able to reclaim 35s and build out some liquidity here, it will base nicely for FOMC where it can make a decision and wash either way if it wants. But I would say this is starting all the time. It's holding 31s, 30s and 31s. Bullish if it can reclaim 35s, very bullish if it can reclaim it. Goog, lovely. Huge extension. There's the breakout. Another flag. And yesterday and squeeze overnight. So it wants to come back test 52s, maybe the whole number 50s if it needs. You'd want to see Goog find bids there. Any break underneath 48, you're going for a fill down to 42s on the Goog, but so far looking strong. Tech very strong so far, mostly led by Oracle, which I'll show you shortly, which looks like it might be a lead candidate to buy. What was it? I don't use it. TikTok. That's it. TikTok. God, I'm showing my age there. Can't even say it. All right, Meta looking good, gapping up. There's previous day. Meta will be looking for a hold of the gap and a breakout of 75s, basically, or previous day 74s, but 75s. If it wants to get weak, it can trade into sort of 57s. But so far looking good on Meta as well. Microsoft actually closing that gap already, so giving back a bit of change here, a couple of bucks. But you'd be looking for this kind of level here on Microsoft to be holding. So really from 14s down to 11s. Any bid in there which comes in, you're looking for a rotation to new highs. Looks okay. Looks pretty good. Nvidia, well, caught them again, didn't it? Caught them again on Nvidia. What if we said that 72 is key? All right, higher time frame, that's your range. If we zoom out, we've talked about this so many times. All right, it's reclaimed this and it's going for that drive higher at the moment. It looks really, really good. So let's get this. So caught them again on that flush yesterday pre-market, ripping back up. And you know, it wants to take out the top side of that range. 80 is the next level, and then let's just check this hourly. Yeah, 80, and then you're looking at 85s, and then you're looking for breaks higher on Nvidia. Tesla remains bullish. What a squeeze. Inside yesterday's range right now. All right, so Tesla sort of pinned in, but in a bullish move. So if it can do any hold of this, you're looking for a bullish rotation through 420 probably to take out 430 and then 450s. And let's have a quick look at Oracle, which found a bid. We talked about this yesterday. If it finds a bid down here, this would be the 30% of a flag pullback on the higher time frame. So remember, Oracle, giant gap up. We talked about this. Started to see that curl here. Yesterday was the day to buy. And if you bought that swing long, you've got a partial exit already. This is probably about 50% of this fib already. There you go, bang into 50. So that's a partial fill there if you were swing long, and you'd be looking for a base here at 07, 08 to come and take out these highs now. So tech looking strong here this morning. What does that mean? Well, it's a bit of a warning sign. You don't really want to be forcing your way in a short. Are we frothy in the market? Probably. Is today the day to be risk on? Probably not. I'm sort of mainly expecting chop and slop for most of the time today. Is that the crocodile from Peter Pan? Yeah, exactly. My drawings are terrible. Okay, let's see who's in here this morning. Oh, maybe let me do it in here. All right, morning, Jeff, Miguel, Jesse, Toby, Coop, John Dennis, Ken, Marek, NRS, Glenn, Clint, Brandon, Firewater, Greg, Mike, Dojon, Peter, Sergio, Alpha, Myron, Dean. Let's see what you said, Dean. Sorry, you got deleted there. Good morning, Dean. Thumper, Asylum, JD, LJ, Aga S, Raphael, Leron, Bart, Eva, Peter Illis, Priska, Arnie. Thank you, Arnie. That's very kind of you. Ejecto, DJ Noah, Alan, Richard. I've lost some of you here. Troy, Full on Tilt, Richard Johnson, ERF. Good morning, everyone. Morning, 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 morning. Who else have we got? Jacob, good morning. Morning from Poland. Oh, good morning. And Kat, good morning. Morning, all. All right, so we're going to open up here right at VWAP by the looks of it. All right, opening up right at the VWAP. It's never a good sign when we're opening up at VWAP for me personally. That normally indicates quite a choppy day. So that's sort of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting somewhat of a choppy day, given that most eyes will be on tomorrow. If we go risk on, we get a bit of a squeeze. If they're like, hey, let's take some profits. We have this rather big channel. We are backside of the channel right now, but this can be a two-leg and a reclaim. So this up here is what I'm watching. We've got to move this over, so I keep my drawings. There we go. 30 seconds to the open, folks. Watching this level up here. If there's some profit taking for a gap fill, or see if they find a bid where we are right here. This is kind of level which we bid off overnight. I wouldn't say it's necessarily strong demand. It's just a level we can maybe make this like this a little bit more. Might want to drift all the way down to 62s and gap fill. So let's see what we get here at the open. Mag all opening up green other than Nvidia. Not expecting much today, folks. All right, most of the eyes are on tomorrow. Really not expecting much. There's some buyers trying to come in here this morning. Force us up to the 610s by the looks of it. Seller up there. Have we got much above? We have got some above at those sort of 650 levels. Bit of a muted open so far. Okay, here's the flush into where we found dips overnight. Do they get follow through for that gap fill? Will be the answer. Or do they hold this flush or attempt at a flush? So we're cleaning out these sort of pre-market levels. Did we take this out? I can't see because of this guy here, which I know Silem has messaged me about. We did sweep. Okay. It's a little internal sweep. Nvidia selling a little bit here. Does the rest of the market follow is the question. Is there some follow through? Not much happening, is there? Can we close this gap? It's the answer. And see what's next if we do. So far, just hanging around at that New York Open. Bit more size added into 620 here, looking to get filled, I think, by the looks of it. Well, if ever there was a terrible open, this will be it. Just not moving. Not moving at all and stuck at VWAP. Remember, we were in a sort of drift higher mode overall. It just depends if there's some profit taking. It does look a bit frothy, that Asia session, but normally you'd want a all-time high to be made in New York before we think about anything else. Normally. Make sure I've got these levels lined up. Oh. Market is stuck here right now. We could do with a pop-up here to clean these guys out to see if sellers are there really, if we're going to sell. I don't really love the breakdown under here right now, but it's possible it might want to come to PDH and PDC. I'd rather see it pop up and sell first if we're going to play a short rotation, because it's very dangerous in the overall bullish market. So I don't really want to be shorting the London lows right now. And the 200 EMA on a 5 minute for any of those who are using Trend Friend Pro. That's where we're at right now. This right here is right into here, as you can see. All right, big level. A little bit thin underneath. Whoopie doo. We're 3 and almost 4 minutes in, and we have a 23-point range. I mean, are you joking? Are you joking? All right, here is a breakdown. Do they follow through? Here is the follow through, like we said. All right, so it's got a feeler on here. See if we can get down to PDH and PDC. Lovely, taking some off here in front of PDH. So it's not the ideal trade, but we'll take it because it's there. And see if we can tag that PDH and PDC here. These red and yellow lines. And if we get underneath that, we can think about yesterday's value, but I'm not really too sure we'll get down there. QQQ about to fill its gap as well. Let's see if there's any follow through here. PDH about to be hit. Are we going to get follow through for that gap fill? That was Nvidia that caused that sell there. Another 0.5% down from where it was. Can't quite fill that gap. Very, very close on the ETFs there on the Qs to filling it. Does the next pop-up fail? All right, you'd want 80s and 90s to fail. Any reclaim of New York and, well, this will be a failed breakdown, basically. We would love to see a gap fill, but if they don't do it, they don't do it. You cannot force it. Locked in most of mine already. If it gives me a chance to add and it firms up, then fantastic. But remember, overall, we're in a bullish trend. VIX above PDC as well. Okay, so any reclaim up here will be risk off, won't be holding through any of this. You'd want to see this fail here really for that gap fill. If they don't fail here, then we go squeezy through the New York session and VWAP back to clear out these levels up here, possibly where we've still got a seller up there at 10s and 20s. Let me just check if he's up there at 20s. He's still there, yeah. Microsoft going red here as well. Seeing some stronger profit taking. And not much follow through. Well, I say not much, none. No follow through, not through PDH, protecting PDH and PDC for now. Come on, market. Just come down and fill it, and then we can be done for the day. Come on, new low, please. We need a new low here. Need that gap fill, and then I can be done. Here it comes. Yes, wants to follow. Google going red to green or balancing out. So Microsoft and Google both balancing out red to green. They've both filled their gaps. We just need this market to give a tiny little tug. We're not looking for a lot. Like another 10 points would be nice. And then we've got completion of trade one. Which is, I think, what we put in here. Pre-market is what we're going to know, the pre-market. All right, oh. In the Discord, all right, trade one down, fill this gap, and then we can see what's next. And if we find bids down here for that inverse head and shoulders, we can trade it upside if it really wants. So far, staying heavy. Google just about gone red. Nvidia's still red, but it's trying to find a bit of a bid. Microsoft's got the chance to go red as well, as has Apple. Lots of profit taking possible down here. And if there is follow through, we should get that gap fill. And then if we get through the gap fill, we can think about previous day value area high. Here we go. Come on, just give us a new low here. Come on, stop faffing around. Come on. Tick to new low. Can we get PDH and gap fill? Microsoft now going red. Come on. All right, there's PDH. Is there follow through? Any more downside from this market? ES getting very close to filling its gap as well. All right, so do not get too short in the hole down here. You should have been short for a breakdown from up here. It wasn't the ideal play. I would have liked them to clear this out first. We're runners only now because we've hit PDH. If we get down here and down here, fantastic. If not, it is what it is. If we reclaim this, this is possible for a back test of up here because we've not back tested it yet. It really depends how much profit they want to take early morning here. All right, Google's starting to roll, Apple's starting to roll, starting to see this market go red in some of these mag names. They're all closing their gap. Nvidia's finding a bid though. Oracle now 5% up. Remember, any reclaim of this level here, which is where we found bids overnight, any reclaim of that opens the door for a squeeze up to 620s right now. ES about to fill its gap. All right, ES has just filled its gap. ES has completed the gap fill. NQ has not completed the gap fill. It's very close. It's about to do it by the looks of it. It wants to do it. It just can't get this follow through PDH. Get out of the way, buyers. Just let us fill it. Get out the way. It's probably having to watch both contracts here. Get out the way. Just one little shove down. Get to 50s. All right, ES finding a bid after filling its gap here. So let's see if ES rejects PDH or not. Otherwise, we might be done for the day in terms of this first trade. Oh. Oh, man, slept terribly. ES rejecting PDH there. That was a retest of PDH. We just called that out. That was a pretty strong rejection of PDH here. We should sell through now. If NQ is going to play ball, we should sell through. Otherwise, you're going to get some annoying divergence. So ES went under PDC, tested PDH, found some sellers at PDH, is having follow through to the downside. NQ is not following suit. We're almost at that gap. Oh my gosh, how close are we? Don't be a dick for a tick here, that's for sure. 50s. If we get through this, we're going to go for previous day value, area high, and Globex. So if we can get through this, we can look to hold runners into 33s and 25s, basically. Nice flush on ES. Obviously, ES is behaving while their NQ is not, of course. Yeah, it's coming into potential RBS zone here and finding a bid off it. What is that? Is that the high time frame algo? Is that a VWAP? I'll check what you are. What are you? No, you. VWAP. Okay. ES looks heavy here. Still looks heavy. NQ just not getting the juice. Okay, ES going to backtest PDC here. Key here is if ES has sellers between PDC and PDH, stay heavy. If not, and it gets acceptance back through, then we know what happens. It will be a failed look below. NQ showing relative strength here. Not willing to sell through at the moment on NQ. You can see the divergence, right? So we are stuck in front of here. This is a really nice breakdown on ES, right? There's PDC, there's the back test of PDH, there's the follow through, and it's gunning for down here in Globex right now. If ES will need to get up here to reclaim, this is a good sell. Much easier sell than on NQ. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is this morning with the tech being a stronger asset overnight. We're not having any follow through on NQ, which is fine. Like I said, you've got to be in scout mode, especially if you're going to be short. Cannot overstay your welcome in this market on the short side when we are in drift higher overall. Remember, this can be the end of the second leg. We could be something like, I don't know, maybe a third leg then. Sell, 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 reclaim, back to highs. Very possible. That's why we're watching this area. Got to remind myself, I feel like we do have more news coming today, don't we? 10 o'clock. 15 minutes or so. All right, ES staying heavy down here. Staying heavy down here. Not reclaiming PDC yet. Nvidia 0.5% down. That is clawed back some of its losses. Microsoft now 0.5% down. Google 0.18% down. Apple on a nice push up right now, 0.5% up. Right, so that found buyers down there. So a bit of a mixed bag here. And tech trying to drive it out after filling its gap. ES remaining weak by the looks of it for now. So divergence at play. Where's the VIX? VIX breaking out as well above previous day high. See if it finds a bid. But again, we're in rollover. We expect divergence. If the flow zones reject here and VWAP rejects, we would need to break a new low under here now. I'm not really interested in this play at this moment because we're not seeing any follow through from NQ. And ES has already done its job. But, you know, we never know. Maybe we get follow through afterwards down towards previous day value area high. But at the moment, it's not showing a willingness. Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming here. Looking better now. All right. There's the gap fill. Okay, so runners only at this point. I didn't add on there. Didn't feel confident about the add-on, but let's see. Is there follow through under the gap for previous day high and Globex? We've now filled the gap. That was actually really nice off VWAP. Didn't add on, just the original position. All right, taking more out here. I'm holding now to see if we get here. Maybe should have added there, but didn't feel good about it given how tech was moving. Hindsight though. Okay, so now you're looking for a trade continuation. All right, if they stay heavy, you want continuation into here. You must cover some here and some here. This is possible demand area. We can zoom out. You can see this was key from yesterday. All right, so yesterday's high. We pulled back from it. We created resistance there. We broke up from it. We're back testing this pocket right now. This is where buyers showed up yesterday. If we get underneath here, there's a bigger sell. You look good here so far. Do not get short in the hole down here though. Any good target number for ES? Do you think it could reverse the overnight move? Let me zoom out. I mean, you kind of already have. So I'd say the next liquidity pockets 673, 671, 668, and that 663 is massive. Yeah, the amount of liquidity that's been built up, I'd say under 669, they will need to protect 662, 663. It gets kind of thin down there. If they don't protect it, you go leg down. But remember, it's just a pullback. Just treat it as a pullback until it proves otherwise, right? Until you start seeing, you know, hourly shifts or at least 15-minute shifts with lower highs and lower lows. All right, remember, low-hanging fruit was this yellow line. Continuation will need to sell versus this into this. Be careful because you've got some tapering here. This is fairly controlled. This can still happen. I'm not saying buy down here. Definitely stay short right now. But if you see the market start to pick up in volume, we can put a volume on here because we've fulfilled this obligation. If they get stuck here, these sellers, then we move no lower. Yeah, nice, Peter. Starting to see some buying come in here. So ETFs have all filled gaps. We have reclaimed PDH, PDC here. Same on the ETFs. SPY and ES still underneath them. VIX still looking like it wants to break out. All right, it's a really nice move on VIX. We said you have to be careful. We're gapping up with the VIX looking how it was. We talked about this yesterday. Right. Major levels here. We went over this pre-market. Higher low, higher high, higher low. We expect a higher high. There's your breakout. Next level it's looking for is 1625. Through that, we go 17s. And at that point, this market will go risk off. More likely to happen tomorrow, but you never know. Maybe they start selling ahead of the news. It's possible. But I wouldn't bank on it. But you know, if we've got a frothy market and they're going to sell the news event tomorrow, they might start rolling some of their profits out early. All right, ES finding a bid down here, reclaiming PDC. It hasn't had a 5-minute close above, but it's coming back into PDC here. This bar about to close. So PDC to PDH and VWAP key on the ES and the spiders. You've hit most of your targets there. We had to be a little quick on the trigger today and, you know, not look for too much. I didn't really want this trade. What I really wanted this morning would have been much better if we just cleared out up here, then found sellers, then rolled. Then I know that all these buyers who jump in here become trapped. We can sell that. We can add on. We could sell down. We didn't get it. So we just had to take this breakdown when the momentum came, when the shift in the tape came. You have this channel here, and this is controlled. All right, this is not strong, aggressive selling. If you start to see this, this can squeeze. No, I'm not looking to go long yet, am I? Because we're in a sell. All right, I don't pick bottoms. There we go. Covering some into value. Beautiful. Do we take Globex out here? Very nice. Very nice. Glad we had a runner left. All right, they're protecting value so far, so no follow through down there. Underneath value, you can see instant bids coming in. But if we fail PDC and PDH now, maybe we take Globex out and visit previous day value area low. We'd be very lucky if we could get all the way down there. But you never know, folks. You never know. We're basing right now on previous day value area high. Here we go. Can we create a new low? Take out Globex. Globex, that orange line on your screen. And if we can take that out, we come all the way down into previous day's value area low. That would be magnificent. Come on then. Here's Globex coming. Do not get short in the hole down here. You're either holding some of your core position or you're not. ES absolutely tanking here. The big shove. Taking a little bit more off there just in case because we're starting to base out. Starting to see this market want to rotate at the moment. Can we get down to previous day value? It's asking quite a lot, but Globex really key here. Do we sweep Globex? This orange line on your screen. Right now we're finding bids at value area high from yesterday. If we can't get acceptance above that, then we should trade down to value area low and point of control. All right. If we do not have acceptance above previous day value area high, it means we're trading into yesterday's value area range. All right. So if we zoom out, if we do not find acceptance above here, all right, and we fail, we will chop. This is 30 points. All right. We will come back down and revisit this. If we get under there, oh my gosh, it'd be the first time I'd be concerned for this market. Make sure you're covering some of your core position here, please. All right, if they reject previous day close, previous day high, they might have a continuation here. Remember, that was quite a big aggressive wash down here. Same thing happens. We're in control. That was a bigger volume, much bigger volume that came in there. If they reject this, there's a possible for a move down here. If we keep holding previous day value, right, if we keep holding this and doing this, there'll be a long squeeze back up. I won't probably be playing that until we get above here. If we fail, keep failing here, this move here is possible, especially if we do this. All right, if we get stuck under here, if we push, fail, get stuck again, then there's a move further down to value area low from yesterday. Remember, this is the chop zone from 30 to 85. This is where we chopped basically the whole of yesterday until the last 30 or 40 minutes or something like that. How long was it? Let's just actually have a look. We chopped there yesterday from 9:30 a.m. until 5. So we spent the whole day there yesterday until the final 10 minutes. So the whole day yesterday until the final 10 minutes was spent in here. So just be aware of that. That's where all of the volume from yesterday was. All right. Just did that move up. Did we take that high? We did by a tick. So let's see if they have any more juice. Do they got the juice? Or they finished? Oh, they finished. What's the time? 5 minutes until that new 4-hour and hourly candle. Remember, this is going to be key. Kind of want them to sweep out those 25s just for a 4-hour and hourly. It would give us, even if we want to trade the reversal back up, then it would give us a better trade. Let's see. Can we get followed through here? Remember, we just took this high. We just talked about taking this high and then trapping and coming lower. Can we get followed through under here at this point or not? There's value from yesterday. Knock, knock, knocking on sellers' doors. VIX having a big old swipe there through the 16s. We just talked about that. So 1625s, I think, is the next level for VIX. Yeah, 25s to 27s. Just marking that out. So I've got it on my other chart. So VIX can afford a pullback to find buyers now, as we go slightly risk off into FOMC or ahead of it. Remember, new 4-hour, new hourly candle coming here in 3.5 minutes, folks. We're just basing on previous day value here for now. Here comes Globex, very, very close. I think we've actually tapped Globex once here. And can we sell through Globex and get to point of control and previous day value area low? This is the area where it's going to be choppy in, unless they just go in a mega sell and slice through it, because this is a whole day of volume down here. Should be fairly thick. I know we were lighter volume yesterday, but we've tapped that once. I haven't quite swept it. Very close. Horrible NQ doing that. Getting close. Getting close. Please make sure you get some off here in this move. There's Globex. Nice. So last target now really is previous day value area low and point of control. They're basically together. Your last runner is down here, but you should have locked in, I'd say, 80+% of your position. All right, so we were short here. Alex was silly, didn't add on here. Probably should have. And now we're looking for something like this. And if it doesn't do it, be open to this move here. Do not get caught shorting lows if it wants to start squeezing up, because we've taken all objectives. The only things left are these now. I guess you could argue, where's PDL? All the way down here. I mean, we're asking an awful lot from this, but it's possible. Very unlikely, I'd say, but possible. Two minutes until this H1 close. This H1 can afford a pullback all the way to 583 and still stay heavy. Start of this H1 was actually really nice. Where's that high? 609. This. Oh, I just wish it swept that. That is gross. I don't like that it's left that. Don't feel good about sitting in too many more shorts without this being taken. If that was taken first, then I think trend day is more possible. But we didn't, and I don't like that. That's a warning sign. All right, you should have locked in most, if not all of it now that you're seeing a bit of a response here. Do we find sellers here again, or do we reclaim? But remember, we've done our job. Our job's done. Anything down here is a bonus. Our job is done. wait for this H1, H4 open here. And now we're half an hour in. Let's put some volume in here. Do you want to do it, TradingView? You want to do it for me or? Hello. There we go. Okay, so a bit of a reprice up here. Do we still see sellers up here? Mag completely split now. Strongest name is Apple now, 1.72% up. Actually, that's a lie. Tesla is 1.77% up. So those are leading the charge right now. Followed by Amazon, 0.62% up. Meta, 0.58% up. Nvidia, 0.80% down. Microsoft, 0.72% down. Google, just under 0.5% down. So a little bit of a split board here. 4 of them green, 3 of them red. Apple strong. Remember, Apple's playing catch up right now to the rest of the mag overall. VIX new highs here, basing over 16s now. Very, very strong on the VIX. Might see a retest of some of this thin liquidity here into sort of 47s, 50s. If it reprices that up into here, it's possible. And if we start basing over that, I'd be fully out if you are still holding. I'm out of this at the moment, waiting to see if there's a new setup here for an ad or if we're going to squeeze. This is your red to green level that we're trading at right now. Right here, think about an H1. This is the old H1 close right here. Right, so if we trade inside and get H1 buyers to come in and then sell, it would be good. If we trade inside and then sell, it would be good. If we trade inside over key levels, it's different though. Has to reject. ES new lower day. Apple those 240s. So higher time frame algo about to be tagged here on ES. It's a decent pullback today on ES. Previous day low, not that far away on the spiders. Not too far away on the spiders. It looks heavy here. If NQ starts breaking down here, we should get that move to point of control. Needs to let go though. Needs a new low. Cannot keep stuttering down here, otherwise people will get trapped. So it looks like it wants to rotate. How's the mag doing? Tesla on a charge here again. It's the hardest thing with the Qs at the moment. You've got just a complete split of Tesla and Apple on a very bullish charge here this morning. Tesla at that 420. We talked about that 420. 420 break is big. After that, probably looking at 450 just psych. Let's just have a quick look. 420, 430. 420, 430, 440, 470. Okay. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. How big are they as Confluence? Well, Oleg, it's all about if they're selling together, we're going to get more of a trend, aren't we? When we get a mixed bag where, you know, you've got some 2.3% up, 1.71% up, and the others, in a lesser sell, you know it's going to be more of a struggle. Why is it going to be more of a struggle on the Qs? Because they're heavily weighted on the Qs compared to the spiders, right? Qs is so heavy tech weighted, and so much of that is made up by the mag. It makes a real difference. So if they all start selling together or all start pushing together, it's way, way easier to trade the Qs. When they're choppy like this and they can't get in unison, it makes it a little bit harder. I'd say it's fairly controlled selling so far this morning. Fairly controlled. Oh. Do me a favor, smash that like button nice and early, folks. Let's get that like button up to 100. 110 of you who have not smashed it yet. Do me a favor. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps me, helps the channel. Sellers here stacking up. 545 and 565. More volume now flipped over to NQZ, which is good. I'll be able to get rid of this contract tomorrow, I think. Starting to see some tapering. You're looking for pushes to fail if we're going to go lower. If they start reclaiming here, you can see here is your channel, right? If they start going more sideways and failing to break the low and reclaiming this, shorts will get stuck down here. Until that point, I'm not thinking about a long. We'd have to reclaim some key levels, and then could be long to partial through, especially if it spends time down here and the flow zones start to come with it. So shorts starting to get a little bit squeaky here. Can afford a reprice up here before selling back down. In fact, it can afford a very deep drive if it really wants on the H1. Today much better than yesterday. I mean, we don't have much range. We're still playing very tight. 76-point range is not fantastic. It's not fantastic, but maybe it's a little bit more directional than yesterday, I would agree. Yesterday we were bullish out the gate, and then we went sideways for the whole day. Today we're bearish out the gate. The question is, do we go sideways now? Or is there follow through? Sitting on the top bowl. Yeah, we are sitting on the top bowl. All right, here's a retest of the opening range and your previous day high and previous day close. ES not really finding that same bid that we're finding on NQ yet. So there's buyers up here all the way into 565, right up into here, above VWAP right now, into this gap. So they're trying to get a little squeeze up. For me, I know this is a higher low and this is a higher high, but for me, I'm going to really reference this as a key point right now. Oh, all right. It would need to show me some strength to do this if I'm going to think about that. Otherwise, I'm not convinced that we don't retest this, but let's see. There's not much excess down here, but we are holding value, and this was key. If we hold value, we can drift back higher. Under value, we come into this chop zone here. So if I'd say sellers who didn't understand that you must be covering into these levels are getting stuck. Anyone who added short at lows right now is stuck. ES looks weak compared to NQ, honestly. Say if we hold this now, sellers will get stuck. If we hold that level, you can see all that. This is where they kept selling and selling and selling and selling. If they hold this level and then print, sellers will get stuck here. If they let go of this level, then anyone who came sort of breakout lower time frame at 48 will be in trouble. New lower day coming on the ES here. Very different charts right now. Okay, so sellers trying to take control here. New lower day ES is their continuation here for NQ now. Still protecting value for now. Nothing we can really do. Don't really want to short the lows. Already locked in nice money today. Not ready for a long yet. We've not reclaimed flow zones. We've not reclaimed a pivot. We're underneath the opening range. We're underneath PDC. We're underneath PDH. But I don't want to get short at low of day. So unfortunately, momentum so far is okay. Location's not great. We'd need a new sort of formation of structure, I think, for me to really feel good about a new short to come and clean up previous day value levels. God, I can't talk in the mornings. So value area high again here. New low of day again of ES. I just wonder if they're gonna, do some nasty move through Globex all the way down to POC. It's be tough to trade that because we're very thick in there from yesterday. We spent all of yesterday there. I'm just wondering. Just got me wondering. Building out some volume here. If we let go of this and expand under here, then this is possible. This is thick in here, though. If we let go of this, this is thick in here, but it's possible. It is possible. I'm not going to rule it out, as is this. All these are possible right now. You can see we're in high time frame liquidity build. ES new low day again. ES selling nicely. Looks like the SPY might want previous day low at this point. QQQ playing catch up. All right, do we get continuation and follow through? Is there any follow through in the Qs today? Very hard with Tesla doing what it's doing, but it's starting to pull back a bit off those highs now. Tesla 5 points off that high. Here you go. All right, so can we now break? There we go. So there's the flush. That's the new low of day. Do they sustain this offer to the downside now and look for previous day point of control and previous day value? Remember, we're very choppy in these levels. Breakout sellers would have just come in here. All right, so then sellers will need to see continuation under here. Otherwise, these breakout sellers who just jumped in on the offer might get stuck. Is retest of value. So ES tagging that previous, that higher time frame algo. If you get a break back above that pivot we just put in by PDC, PDH here, that will be a failed break to the downside underneath Globex. If. It's a big if, but that's the if. If we start reclaiming this, this will be a failed look below under Globex. This is where sellers, like I said, when you see these candles and they come in like this, if we reclaim this now, then I'm going to assume all sellers are stuck, especially under here. They will need to reject this. It's the same level we talked about earlier. There's the look above. There's the fail. This is the RBS they needed to hold. If they fail this, this is still possible. If they reclaim this, we can move higher. I know there's lots of if, buts, and maybes, but we're trading in a small range. And remember, higher time frame, we are still very bullish. Higher time frame, this can still be a pullback. I'm not going to rule that out. So I don't want to be too bearish in this market. We talked about it this morning. If we're short, we see money, we take money, we'll hold runners. We've done about as good as we can do. I have a question. How do you find momentum in stocks, especially when you are in options trading? I don't know what you're asking. How do you find momentum in stocks? You can see it in the volume. If you're looking for, looking to trade momentum stocks, you will need to use some sort of scanner like Trade Ideas and set some parameters of gap over X% on X amount of volume. That's how you would find momentum stocks. You would need to use trade scanners. So is it Trade Scanner, Trade Ideas? God, I haven't used it for so long. All right, I'm going to get a refill on my coffee. Looks like a bit of a doji down here on the ES and spiders as well. So it looks like they found a bid off that higher time frame algo. All right, ES off the higher time frame algo has found a bid right here. This green line. Surprise, surprise. If you think about what we did this morning, we are in a liquidity build. Anyone who's done the course, there's your lower time frame algo. We've traded down to the higher time frame algo. This is your liquidity build. No one will teach you this. This is from my back testing for many, many years. All right, I'm going to get a coffee here and I'll be right back, folks. All right. We still need to get those likes up, folks. Let's get the likes up. So we said that's where the sellers got stuck. This is what we talked about before. We've left excess down here. You can see it here. This is the excess and the turning side. And if we print above this now, all right, this is opening up for this move more and more and more now. Now that sellers got stuck down here, remember higher time frame, we are bullish. All right, you can see I just moved to this on a 5-minute higher time frame. All right, you can see a strong trend, isn't it? Strong trend. I would argue these lows here create these highs here. So if it protects this, it can remain bullish. This can be bullish. It lets go of this shelf under 500s, then we can rotate to 320s or 400 to 320s. Right, under 500 we can rotate. At the moment, you're not seeing that rotation. You're seeing high time frame bulls come back in. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. You can understand the multi-time frames and what we're looking at and why we trade 2 levels and not beyond those levels, why we scalp when we scalp and when we hold. Very, very different. Yeah, GC looks good. Incredible. Incredible. A beautiful breakout. Just about as good as you can ask for. And it's got room. It has silver. This 4,000 is what they want. You know they want it. You know they want it. Are we extended? Yes. Can it keep going? Yep, it can. It can. Oh, I started watching loads of alien docs last night after watching the UAP meeting last week. I want that film to come out, man. What's it called? Age of. I wanted to say Discovery. It's not Discovery. Disclosure. The Age of Disclosure. Oh, amazing, Coop. Congrats. Congrats. All right, still not Bulls had the chance to take over there and they didn't. We just got very thin on the book there and aggressive selling just stepped in. At least on the Z contract it did. Back down to previous day value. If you tell me the name of the James Fox docs, I probably have watched them. I've watched almost all of them. I started watching the latest Greer one last night. I mean, it was stuff we already knew. And then I started asking ChatGPT, what will happen if we get A, disclosure, B, evidence and proof that the US government has been lying to us for 60 to 70 years using taxpayers' money, C, that we have this technology now, or at least lots of the technology and things like the drones that we saw at the end of last year, beginning of this year, were in fact either us or China or whatever using this technology, and D, that we have renewable free energy. And I asked it to plot macroeconomic situations over a 20-year time period because I just wanted to know, where does it think the money will go? Well, it thinks we'll have a ginormous crash instantly, obviously. Money will rotate out of energy straight into what do you call it, like military defense type stocks. Any countries using oil will be the end of that. Money would go into gold, which I found interesting. I'm like, really? I'm not sure about that, but okay. Yeah, and I asked it to plot it all out just to see if it was in line with what I was thinking. If any of this happens, which I think we're getting closer to, but I think government will do everything they can not to let it out. I really like the guy from Tennessee. I forget his name. Governor from Tennessee who heads the whole thing up. Fascinating. I think he's great. If we were going to have a world government, I'd want him as the head of it. He just seems like a good, nice guy who just openly says how corrupt the US government is and Congress are. All right, so that last dip held. Surprised they let it come this deep. There's your change. There's protection of value. This is drive up. Can they force this squeeze out into here? Here's current value on the session. You'd need to get above all these levels. You'd need to see something like this. Yes, that's it. Tim B. Yeah. What's his name? Bouchet? I can't say it. I like him, man. I think he's a very likable character. Says it how it is. All right. ES trading into its thin volume at the New York VWAP. You're starting to see now where these bears got. Oh, what's happened there? Didn't mean to do that. Starting to see now where these bears got trapped underneath. You're starting to see higher highs and higher lows. You have to be careful, but we have had tapering. Right there, as you move down, there's the move across we talked about. This is the equivalent of what? Of a spring. There's the shakeout, and really we should be going upside at this point. How far upside? I don't know, because we are in rollover, but a retest of where we broke down from is possible. We can think about a fib as well from the New York high to the low. We're trading right into 50% right here, so maybe we trade into this golden pocket and see if sellers are up there. I'm going to go over this exact thing here. I'm building a video on it at the moment because this is basically Wyckoff right now. Or you will say it's a market makers buy model, and I will tell you that is Wyckoff. It's got nothing to do with ICTs, just replicated it and changed the name. Moment of Contact I definitely watched. and aerial phenomenon. That's it, Peter. Thank you, Tim Burchett. The thing that horrified me the most in the one I was watching last night, which was the latest Greer one, was them talking about the occasion where the Marines found the spacecraft, which was transporting, I can't remember which country it was, after a natural disaster. I forget which country it was. They're transporting humans. So the spacecraft was man-made, and they were using it to basically capture slavery and test DNA on them and stuff. And it made me think, well, is it that far-fetched? If they believe that we've had 2 times in our history already that our DNA has been changed, it doesn't sound that far-fetched to me. And then it makes me think about the mRNA type vaccines out there. Anyway, conspiracy theory, but I love thinking like that. I agree, Ken. I agree, Ken. All right, so they've had 3 drives here, buyers. They need to get up here. If they don't get up here, they're going to start to struggle. They need to get up here. If they don't get up here, they're going to start to struggle. Still a mixed bag in the mag. ES dropping down to where it's found bids from so far today. I'm losing interest and confidence in this market at the moment. Can't get up there. Bigger sells becomes more and more possible. What is the end game? I mean, we don't know the end game. You got to think everything we know is incorrect. I mean, they've already said the Big Bang you're taught in school is completely incorrect. Everything we know is incorrect. Everything. All the constructs that we have as humans are wrong and are done for control. Financial constructs like energy, religion, it's all going to be wrong if any of this comes out, which is why they're freaking out. The irony is whoever these UAPs are probably the ones that created these constructs for us to give us some form of, I don't know, some form of way of living in peace and harmony. But let's see. It's just a theory, folks, but I'm here for it. I am here for it. What I would say is humans are absolute effing morons. I think, what is the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Yet we are still at war with each other all the time. Yet we still, think that this is the way to live. That greed runs everything and control. We've not learned since the caveman. If you look at what's happened over the last, let's just say, I don't know, 3 years. If you look at what's happened in Ukraine, Russia, you look what's happened in Gaza conflicts, even what's happened in the last few years in America, it's the same pattern over and over again. We won't learn. I mean, if I was a UAP looking at us, I'd just be like, you guys are idiots. You guys are absolute idiots. We're not going to save you. You're not worthy of it. You're little maggot ants that think that you're really important with your self-righteousness, and you're not, because everything you think is incorrect. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. We are. This is how we are. I've got a few theories on it. I'm like, if let's just take AI for example. If AI takes over all jobs, all right, once we get past the panic and we take over all jobs, what are we going to do with our life? Well, really, you'd hope that really we should be looking for some form of growth, some form of exploration, whether that's like as in physical exploration outside of our solar system, or whether it's exploration of our minds and control and looking for what is it, but it's called like the highest level. I can't think what it's called. My mind has failed me. I'm gonna have to look that up. Why can't I think of that? Someone help me in chat. Enlightenment. There we go, enlightenment. But instead, I think what would happen is we just fight. Humans would just fight. When they had the chance to look for enlightenment, we just fight instead. It's probably what would happen. It's probably what would happen, unfortunately. All right, back to previous day's value. I'm rambling here. Buyers have not fully stepped in there aggressively like they should have. And so we're in this chop range now. Initial balance down here. Remember, underneath, we have got some excess down here, so this could be a strong low if they want to hold it. We're at point of control for the day here. Why do I have more success with 25Ks evals than 50s? I don't know. No idea. Market eyes. Who am I? I sound like you. Yeah. Well, I think with anyone with common sense. It's not that hard to be nice to each other, honestly. It's really not. But we struggle to do it. We find reasons to belong to a team. Like it's a human thing. We want belonging, so that's why we support teams, or we are passionate red or passionate blue, or whatever it is. Right? We have this need to belong to something, and by doing that, unfortunately, as humans, we can't separate that. That doesn't mean that someone on the other side is bad. So we end up just shouting and screaming and arguing and going to war. Like, it's so dumb, honestly. So stupid. We form like intelligent communication and then don't use it. You've never tried a funded account. What do I recommend? What do you mean? As in any prop firm are you talking about there, or are you talking about a straight funded account? If you let me know, I'll help you out. So dancing around point of control right now and previous day value area low. ES is just hovering around the same place. Do we break down underneath yesterday's value, and do we come down for point of control from yesterday at the moment? Still protecting Globex, but this has been a weak attempt from buyers here. It's been a weak attempt from buyers here. I'm somewhat surprised, I'll be honest, that they haven't taken the bull by the horns. Still trading on low income. Well, I wouldn't advise trading on low income at all. If practice, I class myself as a professional, unprofitable trader. I mean, I wouldn't be doing, unless you've got a system worked out, I wouldn't be doing any prop firm accounts or anything like that. There's no point. You're going to have to know that you've got edge. Otherwise, you're just going to give money back. And rather than give it to the market, you're going to give it to a prop firm. You've got to have a defined system and edge and know that, hey, I'm going to win X amount of percent of the time. Yeah, might well be right, Peter, but we're not seeing a big follow through. Remember, yesterday, all of yesterday was spent in here. God damn it. All of yesterday, I think this is actually like here. All of yesterday was spent in here. All of yesterday. So we've got a whole day of New York volume in here right now. It's not going to be easy to trade through. We trade through that. Underneath here is much thinner. This is an easier trade under this. This is thick and choppy. I don't really want to trade in there. We're seeing the same thing now. We haven't got much room here either. This is like yesterday. 30-point range. What does that remind you of? This. I think we've had the nice easy trade so far today. Yeah, Ken, I would agree. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, see, Mr. Emoji, see. I don't know how long you've traded for or how you trade or anything like that. There's tons of free education on my YouTube. You go and check that out first if this is new to you. And if you like how I teach, there are some courses. The links are down below, flowzonetrader.com. If you like how I teach and how I read the market, do the course, come and join me there. But yeah, paper trade first. What key factors should be considered when selecting a prop firm that offers intraday versus end of day drawdown? I would say that very much depends how you trade, what your type of style of trading is, and your budget probably comes into it as well. So if you are a trader that likes to buy and hold, let's say for example, all right, you're a buyer in this market, you've seen this, you're like, I want to buy, let's just assume this is a higher low, and you're like, I want to buy here, and I'm willing to risk under here, and I'm going to look to trade long back to the highs. I want to hold all day long, right? And I want to trade all the way back to overnight high. So you're looking for a decent move there. You're going to trade almost 6R, right? That is not going to work on an intraday account, right? I'll tell you why. Because this will not, or is unlikely to move in one straight direction, right? So if you're the kind of trader that does this and you're on an intraday account, what's going to happen? Especially if you oversize. If you don't oversize, you might be all right. We're probably going to come up here, right? That's a 50-point move, right? And then we might well come all the way down. And maybe if you're oversized or you've got a smaller account, this right here equals what? It equals a blow up, even though you're profitable still and takes you out break even. So if that's you, the type of account you want is an end of day drawdown account, because you want to be able to hold this and not worry if it knocks you out break even or minus 1R, for example. If you don't need to trade like that, if you're like, hey, I want it to get all the way up there, but I'm going to sit here and manage it and I'm okay, and you're okay because you can do, hey, I'm long here, I'm risking this, we get up to here and you take TP1 and it pulls back and it gives you some bullish structure. Maybe you add in again and you take some more off here, TP1 again, and then you get a squeeze out and you take some more off, TP2, and then it pulls back and it goes again, TP3, and you are able to manage that trade, then you should be able to work with intraday drawdown. What's the advantages of intraday drawdown? Much, much cheaper account. So if you're on a budget, as long as you can trade that way, it's okay. The other thing everyone gets so pissed off about, oh, Apex intraday drawdown, blah, 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 blah. Take your time, work through it. It's not there forever. It's there until you get past the buffer. It's not that hard to get past the buffer. It just requires a little bit of patience. So I'd say those are the differences, and they require, different finances as well. If you're broke, you're going to have to probably not trade the intraday drawdowns unless you get a really good sale. All right, strong selling there at the PDH again. They are protecting that PDH here. You can see this is the chop and slop. They are protecting PDH. Here's previous day value area high again. This is so many visits here now. Do they trade through this now and trade back into yesterday's volume shelf? I don't know, but that's what they're looking like they might want to do. Still a mixed bag on the mag. Here's Globex. So shorts will be looking for a breakdown underneath initial balance low. Bulls will be looking to protect that initial balance, which is your purple line on your screen. That is your IB low. It's your current low of day. This might look massive. It's a 20-point candle. This is what all candles used to look like. And we will get back to that in the next week or so. No worries, Abe. Yes, trailing stops in today as well, especially if you're using a bit more size, trailing stops. Need some follow through. Yeah, it does. Either direction, some follow through would be nice, wouldn't it? If you're trading edges, it might be buys coming in here trying to trade the edge. I wouldn't be trading the edge here now, not with how that last candle looked. 5 minute as well. Cannot print a new high. It's starting to look a bit head and shoulders-y on the 5 minute, with this being the head. Right, 1, 2, 3. Neckline down here. Failed to print a new high. Neckline here. If we were going to go for a measured move expansion, it will probably take us down into here. All right, that'd be 100% measured move. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they do it. But just remember, we're building and bidding off previous day value area high. Remember, this is thick under here. You can go back to yesterday. You can see it. You've got to stay zoomed out. This is all of yesterday's chop. All right. If they bid over here, there's a chance to revisit this. If they fail in here, we might test the bottom side of that range. It's not an area that I now want to trade in. We've had the trade location for the short, which was the breakdown. All right, we got short. We've seen tapering. Is there follow through downside at this point? Possibly you get follow through. You have to be aware of that initial balance low. You have to be aware of auction versus failed auction theory. And there was excess on this low. So it can hold as a strong low if they want. Really depends what the mag does here. All right. If you're new to trading and you do want to check out the prop firms, all the links are down below and in chat. For most of the prop firms, FZT will get you the best discount. Other than for Take Profit Trader, you'll need to use Flow Zone. Don't ask me why they won't change it, but they won't. VIX just stuck up at this 1690 to 16 or 1620 to 16. So keeps tapping in supply, pulling back and holding. Still looks bullish on the VIX, which could add to bearish pressure. If VIX starts breaking out at 1620, you'll get bearish pressure in the spiders. We've started to really thin out here. I mean, less and less interested, so happy to talk about anything you guys want. If we break yellow line previous day low, you'd need an auction. Previous day low is a lot to ask for. You'd need an auction underneath here, and this would be the first point of control value area. They will probably try and bid off that. Previous day low is a lot lower right now. That's asking a huge amount. If they fail value area low, yes, but we're nowhere near that yet. It's asking a lot. I'd be surprised if they get down there today. I still don't understand how the end of day accounts are different. They still get blown if you hit a limit during the day. Okay, so with Apex, let's say your drawdown, let's say you're trading a 50K account. Your drawdown is intraday $2,500. Okay, $2,500. If you are up, let's say you were short here, and in this position here, you are up $2,000, right? But you don't cover, all right? You don't cover the lows. You hold that position, and then it comes up here, and you're minus $500. That's an awful $500. You are now blown up, even though you're only minus $500 in a trailing drawdown account intraday. If that was an end of day account, you would only be minus $500. That's the difference. All right, it goes from the highest profit unrealized. That's the difference. Not from realized, not from end of day, from the highest profit unrealized. That's why with Apex and things like that, you cannot oversize, or the advanced accounts on on Tradeify. All the PA type accounts on Take Profit, same thing. Cannot oversize. You are asking for it. If you oversize, you will get crushed. All right, still hanging around here. Still hanging around previous day value. Still trading the edges. Still no follow through to the downside. Do we see follow through? Do they let go? I have no idea, folks. It looks like they want to do that, but you know, buyers have been protecting these edges all day long. If you see follow through, then you're going to look for point of control on previous day value. Do you know who Danny Trades is? Of course I know who he is. I mean, he's not a trader. He's a gambler. He couldn't read price action. He can't read price action. He's not a trader at all. And do you know what? I blame Top Step for all that. They can't do their due diligence. They give an absolute moron a voice. So that's what happens. And whoever that guy is who does the risk management at Top Step literally gassed him up on stream. I'll never forget it. I was just like, man, you guys are absolute morons. Tyson, do you understand it now that I explained it? I can explain it again because it's important that you understand. Yeah, but it's not really funny though, is it? It's just done for stream. It's all bollocks. He just wants your affiliate money. And isn't it his dad that still owns that firm? I don't know. I don't find stuff like that funny. I think it's fucking stupid. Pardon my French. All right, so still bidding. They're still protecting because we're in a range rotation day. Buyers are trying to bid the edge because we've got excess here. They're trying to hold the edge and they're trying to look for this move here. Sellers will want some form of breakdown in here. I'm not willing to trade in here. This is too dangerous. We've had our trade. If we get follow through, there might be a trade. If we get a squeeze out, there might be a trade. I'm not going to trade in this 30-point range. Too dangerous. We've built all the range here today. Tiny, tiny range. It is somewhat of a D-shaped profile, a B-shaped profile. So there is potential follow through here if we leave people stuck up above the profile. All right, so if we think about this, if we've left overnight buyers stuck up here, and we get a B-shaped profile and a breakdown, especially if we break down under here, there is follow through, very much available. If we protect this, we can still retest supply. We have not retested that supply. The one thing I'd be cautious of is normally when we make an all-time high, we want to see it happen in the New York session so that we can leave good excess. We have not done this in New York session. This has been created in London. I very rarely trust this when we do something like this. I would not be surprised to see something like this before moving lower in this market in general. Hopefully they take it out tomorrow on FOMC and then dump it Thursday. All right, so nothing really to do here. You can see we're building out the range. They haven't broken that neckline. They haven't bid over the top side. The volume's starting to dissipate here. They've had attempts. All right, but the volume is starting to dissipate. All right, you had an attempt here. You had an excess low right here. All right, this is what I'm saying. We have excess on this. They can hold this. This can be a strong low intraday if they want. Bids over here open up the squeeze. Sells under here mean buyers remain trapped. This is a liquidity build. I don't want to be part of the liquidity. I want to trade outside of the liquidity. I don't care if it's a breakout or fail breakout, but I would rather trade outside of that liquidity. It is possible. It is very much possible that this happens. I'm not going to rule it out. I just don't like trading versus this when we've seen tapering. Very much possible, but for me, flow zones are starting to contract and go tighter. I'm less and less interested. ES looks like it does want to move lower though. Still protecting high time frame algo and initial balance. And the previous day low on the spiders is not far away. It's miles away on the Qs. Tesla back to that 420 again. I'll give you a readout on the mag. Tesla 2.68% up. That's followed by Amazon 1.37% up, followed by Apple just under 1% up, and Meta just over 0.5% up. Nvidia the weakest today in the mag, 0.66% down, followed by Microsoft 0.41% down, followed by Google 0.14% down. As a whole, equally weighted, we're trading at 0.65% up, so slightly under the Qs, which are trading just under 1% up on the day. IBL to VWAP small range, might want to reclaim VWAP first to go long, until then sitting. IBL to VWAP. Yes. Yeah, possible. Failed breakdown under it would be ideal if they want to clean this up. But yeah, very tight range to play that. And lots of liquidity. Lots of liquidity built, because we built liquidity here from, really, let's just call it 945. That's the start of the liquidity build. That's your box. All right, there's the trend. Counter trend short. TP's hit. That's why we take profit. Now we do this. Small winning day today for me. Very, very small. All right, you can see. Very, very small. Because the range is not big. All right, range isn't big, so we trade carefully. Such strong displacement down, not sure about moves. I wouldn't say it's strong displacement. It might look strong, but let's think about what this is. 50 to 29, so 20 points. It's not super strong. This seems more likely to me at the moment, or at least to here, but I wouldn't say this is like a big kill candle. They just look big because the ATR, average ATR today is about 6 points a candle, right? VIX looks like it wants to do this breakout. It really looks like it wants to break out right now on the VIX. If you move to like a 5 minute, it doesn't look fantastic. We're in a 5 minute sell since here, technically. This is possible, like we talked about. This is the bigger level. This here. Buyers protect that, we rotate. Buyers let go of that, there is room. But most eyes are waiting for tomorrow. New hourly coming in 7 minutes here, folks. All right. So rotation still taking place at these lows. Sellers on the tape here at 565. I don't think there's much above right now. No. I think we're probably done for the day. I'm going to sit with you, but tape's not showing me it wants to move much beyond this. I mean, maybe Noah. I just think all eyes are on tomorrow right now. The only thing, that's the best way of putting this, the only thing which is going to give a move right now, other than news, is if funds need to go risk on or risk off before tomorrow. So what do I mean by that? All right. Anyone who got the newsletter daily, all right, if funds, this will look weird because we're on NQZ, but if funds have been long and long and long and long, all right, and remember we're about 45% up off this swing point, all right, which is the equivalent of 4 years profit if they didn't get murdered on the way down, which they will have, but let's just say they haven't. If they are assuming tomorrow is going to be a sell the news event, which would not surprise me, it might not happen instantly tomorrow, but if they need to get rid of inventory, all right, then they'll be looking to sell, all right. They will need to be selling. They will need retail buyers to be the other side of them, all right. They will need retail buyers to be the other side of them. How do you get retail buyers to be the other side of them? You get exuberance, all right. Easiest trade in the book that you're taught: breakout long. All right, so they might have been selling some inventory against every single pop. All right, there's not much volume done here to do it, so they will want to pair off. Where's the easiest point where they could do it? It would be a failed breakout. All right, if you got exuberance tomorrow, let's say we do a half or a quarter point cut and the market goes, hey, we're risk on, but really we're risk off. All right, and we get an exuberance and all of retail goes mega long here, and they can pair off short side against it. Then they can sell a lot of their position without being seen, and then maybe later in the week or the year or the month, maybe next week, whatever, we sell down. So the only way that's going to happen is if there's a way for them to get out. Remember, they're trading hundreds of thousands of contracts. They've got to not only get out of their contracts, they've got to move their contracts from NQU to NQZ. They've got to roll the contracts over. It's not easy for them to do that. So that's why you're seeing a lot of this. I think we're probably going a waiting pattern for tomorrow, unless someone's really stuck in this. The other thing is obviously the 0 DTEs might affect it. Briefly go over initial entry on your short, please, trade. On my short trade, yes. Okay, so what was the main thing I would have liked to have seen this morning? I wanted a clear out before the short. Why did I want the clear out, which didn't come? Because equal high, equal high, equal high, equal high. We have this sort of flag building here for a downside move, but really I would have loved a test of up here. So the A+ scenario would have been what? It would have been the open to push out, clear these guys out, encourage breakout longs to get in the market, fail up here, which would look like this, and then I could get a nice short up here with a add-on underneath this break for the rotation. That would have been A+. We didn't get A+. Market didn't give us what we wanted. But what we did get is, remember this point here, this gray box, this is what I was saying. This is a key level that we traded from overnight. Why is it a key level? It was an over-under level. All right, resistance, 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 breakout, support, breakout, support. So it was resistance becomes support. I knew once we broke underneath this, we would leave buyers trapped above. Right, buyers. Remember, lots of buying happened up here. Right, so buyers got stuck up here, we trade under them. Buyers got stuck up here. Once we break that, what are we doing? We're going to trade under them. It wasn't ideal because I really would have loved the location up here, but I knew once we broke this grey level, we were likely to do what? To trade down for a retest of the gap fill and previous day high. So red line is PDH. This here is previous day close based on cash, 4 o'clock. This here is Globex low. And the bonus points would have been all the way down here. And then you had previous day value. All right, so this was where we broke out from yesterday. So at the open, we gave it a few minutes to shake out. All right, we gave it a few minutes to shake out. But once there's your open print, this is an inside, this is inside, this is now stuck where? At VWAP, at New York Open, failing to break out. So once we get this candle formation here, I'm starting to sell for this move down, and I'm taking profit where? Here and here. I talk about this, and I should have added, and I didn't, because I felt like a squeeze was possible here. It didn't come. That should have been an add in all seriousness, because we're in a sell. Flow zones are in a sell. Should have been an add. This time we get some more on. We sell down towards Globex. We have completed our job. And anything beyond this now will be a trade inside previous day's New York range down towards previous day's value area low and point of control. Right, so we're building up more liquidity here. Same kind of thing. Here is now your box. Right. If we get a trend day underneath initial balance, what would we expect? We'd expect a play down to previous day point of control and value, which is coming now. Right. If they sweep this and trade back inside IB levels, then we trade back towards New York VWAP, which is what we did here. And it's possible here, but if they sustain offers, right, we've just swept. If they sustain offers underneath IB and Globex, right, then we can trade down towards here. But this is very high resistance because this is what we did here yesterday. Right, this is not thin in here. This is very thick in here. Yesterday we had a D-shaped profile here. This is where all the volume is. If we break below this, we are thin underneath basically, what did I say, 500s? Yeah, near enough. 500 and 460s becomes a failed follow through, short down to where? Here, 400. So we've got a 100-point range underneath here if it stays heavy. Right now, you're starting to see that follow through. This is what we talked about. There's a micro head and shoulder while I got caught talking. There's the net line break. We should trade down to here now as long as it's not a failed break. You should trade lower at this point into that previous day point of control as long as it's not a failed break. I can't remember who asked me that. How does that help? Does that make sense on the Ys and the entry? So you'd be watching initial balance here to see if you get expansion now. Spiders, by the way, for the ETF, SPY, very close to previous day lows. Previous day low is currently trading at 59.34. We're about to take it. Be very careful here. If we swipe it on the ETFs and turn inside, you want to be careful. That will be a major target for the SPY. If we stay heavy under previous day low on the spiders, we can keep selling. Qs are miles away from previous day low. Absolutely miles away. Zoom this in. You've got some offers here on the old contract and the new contract into 525s, which is basically initial balance to Globex, that kind of area we talked about. Let me just zoom this in. All right, so this is the key area now. Do they sell this for a continuation, or do they catch sellers under here and bid back to VWAP? Those are the opportunities. SPY didn't take previous day low, but it got bloody close. All right, got very, very close. There's probably a super basic question. How do you set up your trades when you say TP1, TP2? Are you just entering the different limit order? Yes, exactly. I have a or what do they call it on Ninja Trader? An ATM strategy. So when I enter, it puts in various limits, and then I drag those to pools of liquidity. And if it doesn't get to those pools of liquidity, I drag them down or mark it out in front of them. Right, so retest of initial balance trying to happen here. And you're basically watching all the way up to 30. So anywhere from here up to 30 is where you'd want to see a rejection. If you're playing for a short further down, any reclaim of this level here will allow a squeeze back to view up. You can see 525 on the book. That's who wants to get filled. They're going to come and test 525 if they can. There's 22s. And he's lifting the offer. That's not a good sign. That means he's a buyer. All right, he's lifting the offer right now. So he's spoofing the book. So he was at 25s. He's now at 27s. All right, so he's a buyer. He's lifting his offer up, hoping it squeezes higher to keep trying to pick him up. So he might lift the offer again from 27s up towards 34s. It wouldn't surprise me if he's going to try and play at value. Let's see. Let's see. ES already reclaiming initial balance. No close inside yet, but this is the trade that we talked about. I still think there might be downside here, but we have to see what this seller does here who keeps lifting the offer. It's very, very important. VIX still trying to break out that 1620. So far, no close inside of initial balance for NQ. So you might get a further downside move, which is what I'm expecting. But it really depends on this seller who's playing games with the book right now. Just watching him at 27s. Does he lift as we drift into him here? Yep, he's lifted again to 30s. All right, so he's a buyer pretending to be a seller right now. He's a buyer pretending to be a seller. He just keeps lifting higher, which is why I know he's a buyer, because he just wants it to keep coming up. All right, so we're watching current value area low, which is previous day value area high. I'd say this is very pivotal. 530s. Any break above this, you would not want to be short. You would want some form of reaction in here for this. Remember, this is chop in here, like we talked about. Here's your Globex test. That seller, remember, was at 25s, then 27, now at 30s. We're coming up to testing now. Does he actually fill? He actually got filled there. Okay, and they're adding liquidity above now at 32s, 35. So let's see. If this trades back above previous day value, I would say those shorts on this excess will be in trouble down here. If we reject it and create lower highs and lower lows, we can leave this volume. Remember, this volume here, most of this volume here is right here in this cluster, right? So if we trade lower, we leave these buyers stuck. If we let them out, all right, then we will trap shorts who took a breakout under here. They're still adding liquidity here, 30, 32, 35s, and then a little bit of 40. I'd love this to trade lower, really. To come and test previous day point of control and previous day value. And if we get under those, oh my gosh, that's when we can have more fun. I also don't like that SPY left previous day low by 6 cents. We're not going to play those games again, are we, market, where we leave liquidity by that little? Todd Marsden, you have such a clear view of how the market works. Just many, many years of sitting here. That's all it is. All right, this is the key. Like we talked about, this is value area low on the day, previous day value area high. Shorts will need this to fail for a rotation. If they do not get it, if buyers keep holding initial balance and they do this, all squeezy McSqueezy is possibly on. So decision point for the market. I'd much rather see it sell down into yesterday's value area low at this point, to be honest. But the market is going to do whatever it wants. And a break above that old hourly high at 561 will allow trade all the way up to, oh, it's not very big actually, a whole 20 points. Maybe into 6010s, 610s if it can really get going. We've got those old highs still up there at 610s. Yeah, so maybe this is possible later in the day. Maybe. Big levels here. Market trying to hold that pullback here into initial balance. In some form of channel here, I would say. Here's my channel. Something like this at the moment. All right, ES reclaiming. ES doing IB to VWAP already. We're not too far away either, to be honest. That pullback here, 21s, you've not got a lot to play with. Maybe you get 30 points out of it. Man, I can't believe they did that with SPY. That is gross. That is gross. Why not just go and take it? Leaving it like that. All right, there's the value that we just talked about. This is in the wrong spot. Come on, Alex. What's this level? 33s. That's not going to help moving that around. Okay, so decision time, Mr. Market. Do you go and take out the lows or not? Or are you going to protect initial balance? I'm going to draw this out again because I'm worried that I've moved this. Where's 930? Wow, you going to show me? There we go. That's it. Okay, got it in the right spot now. So it's wrong on Ninja Trader 29's. Got to move this down a bit. There we go. Sorry, folks, just had to make sure that was right. Make sure this is still extended. Yep. Oh! All right, do they get follow through? Initial balance still being protected here. If they hold initial balance after that wash down, market will be in trouble, as in sellers will be in trouble. If they get a break, we're still making lower highs, lower lows right now. They get a breakdown. Point of control and previous day value area lows not out of the question. It's not the easiest trade given that we spent a whole day there yesterday. I'm going to keep reminding you, between 30 and 85, this level here, we spent a whole day in yesterday. There is a ton of build up of volume there. Ton. Flow zone still pointing downwards. Some of you might be looking for that IB to VWAP trade. I wouldn't blame you. Structure isn't there for it yet, but it's up to you how you play it. Rix can't get through that 1620. Let's try him. Keeps trying. It's still basing up there. All right? They're attempting to hold the IB now. They're attempting to play VWAP. So I'm not going to take it, but some of you might be looking for something like this at the moment. You haven't got structure on your side, but it is a technical trade. I don't think the RR is great right now. No, it's still 3R. It's actually pretty good. And if you got to this one, I just don't like the structure of it personally. You know me, I hate ranges. I hate trading ranges. Back to that IB again. ATR now down to 7 points since that little burst that we had, which pushed it up. I don't know. What did that push it up to? Not a whole lot. 15 points or 12 points. Oh. What bookmap plan do I have? I don't know. Whatever the expensive one is for futures with all the global add-ons and all that stuff. Oh my gosh, market, make your mind up. Do something. Back to the IB again. How much volume was on this? Decent amount. We've moved 50 points since the opening 15 minutes or something. Maybe not even. Not even. 40 points outside the orb. Initial balance is 79 points, folks. That's all you're playing with. No expansion. One drive down outside IB. That's it so far today. This drive is the only drive outside of IB. So range rotation is possible. But it's ugly out there, man. It is ugly out there. Right, I need to use the bathroom. Okay, if you took that IB, like I said, I didn't like it, but it's a technical trade. Well, I hate the rotation like this, but if you took that IB, you are pretty close to profit now. There's your TP1, so just under 3R. And this up here, if you get it, there you go. Looks like you might get it, folks. So it's trying to break out of that channel now. You might well get it. So I don't know. Guys like Tyson might have taken it. And if you get through all of this, base above here, there's a bigger squeeze possible for you in the day. It's possible. It's possible. So your TP1, 47s, you can call it 45s if you want. You've got a little bit of supply up here. So I'd say 45s to 50s. Try and get TP1 out there. Don't be a dick for a tick. If it comes up there and gives you a fill near it, take it. And then hold for TP2, which would be this high here. 61, which is also the old VWAP. And then if you get really lucky, you get a squeeze up to 88s. Again, not a trade I'm taking, but it makes sense. It's just not a trade I'm taking. But if you took it, I know some of you take it. Some of you like that initial balance rotation trade. It does. It makes sense. It's just not a trade I love when price actions like this. But it's possible. All right. Coming back down to value and Globex and initial balance. What I would be careful of here is if this is this and protects this and rolls under here, this will open this up. But until that point, I'm not really interested. We made our money. Like I said, this is just nothing really going on. So we'll see. We will see, folks. Tesla back at those 20s again. Volatility's come out the market. It's come out of the market. VIX failing 1620s. Like, it's failed so many times up there. It's had so many goes. So many goes. Market's just gone to sleep. This is what I expected today. I'm surprised we got any move at all, to be honest. The fact that we got anything today has been a bit of a bonus. I wasn't really expecting anything pre-FOMC. Seller here at 30s. Look at this guy manipulating the tape. So he was at 37, moved to 30s, moved back up to 32s. And he's lifting the offer. So if you look on the right-hand side of Bookmap, you'll see what I talk about, lifting the offer. He did it here and he's done it here again. So he's trying to show his face as a seller, but he's not actually a seller. He will be a buyer, probably. Yeah, I think that sounds about right, Troy. That sounds about right, which is really horrible. But, you know, tomorrow we could swipe this high in one candle and still fail. We could swipe that high and keep printing higher. That move can happen in less than a second tomorrow, right? Less than a second. Nice, Arnie. Yeah, happy days. 10 points out of a 30-point range is pretty good going, I'd say. You haven't got a lot to play with today. Still protecting that initial balance for now. No more trades for me. We've had the trades today. If there's a new setup, I'll say what I'm looking at. But right now, nothing. Unless we see some failures underneath or some prints above here that I'm not really interested. Don't want to get chopped up in the range. Don't want to become the liquidity. ES looks slightly weaker. Looks to me like it might want to go back for that previous day low on the SPY, but it had its chance and it didn't take it. So slightly cautious. I think we're just going to be in a holding pattern for a little bit. It's 20 points of range there. That's it. Man. That's a good question, Sidon. Probably more traders. The algo will do whatever it wants, and the algo's playing way more size than that. There's probably traders like thinking, well, that seller's a wall. We can sell in front of him, and then he lifts that wall higher. I mean, they're not trading a lot of size doing it, but it's probably more traders that see, you know, a seller on the tape and they go, okay, I'm going to sell in front of that guy. He'll protect me. Well, he won't protect you. He'll just lift. Okay, back to IB again here. If they get follow through and downside, we probably go old point of control, previous day point of control, and previous day value. It might take a while to get there, but if they fail here, then we probably reach down into this. Remember, the main trend in the intraday session is down. The main trend overall is up. So this could be a giant pullback leg on like an hourly or a daily, for example. So we see this guy here. I see this seller. Keeps walking down to get filled, and then when he gets close to him, he keeps moving up. So he's here. So he might try and encourage sellers to come in front of him and then just lift it back up, assuming it's the same guy. Might not be the same guy. But this is definitely the same character. He might also be trying to get his contracts off for the roll. That's the other thing. We're seeing a lot of it today. SPY feels like it wants that previous day low, honestly. The fact that it missed it by, what did I say, 6 cents or something, is not nice. VIX having another go trying to get through that 1620s. Needs a clean breakout of there. It's hit a high of 1622 today. It needs to just cleanly break out of 1625s or so. Might even be 27s. Okay, ES looks like it might want to break down here. Like I said, SPY looks like it wants previous day low. It's the reason that I felt very unconfident about taking initial balance move. So here you go. Look at this seller. Walk, 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 walk. The moment we tick up, oh, yeah, just joking. I'm going to move up. And now he's moved up again. So you can see this. This is absolute bullshit happening on the tape. This guy is full of it. $30 minutes left, folks. Hopefully most of you have locked in some good gains, or as good as we can get in a day like today. Oh, what a bore. What a bore. Can we see a downside swipe into old value? Underneath previous day value area low, there is a bigger move. On the wrong chart here. All right, we get underneath this. There's a bigger move. Either the fail break or there's a move all the way down to here. There's 100 points to play for in here. All right, bigger move in there. Elevens. Come on, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Because then we can do something for the rest of the day, maybe. Take care, Peter. Nice one, Ken. Take care, mate. Still feels like it wants to come and take that low to me on the spiders. Hard to trust it when we've got a lack of volume like this, but that's what it feels like to me. It wants to wash the lows on the SPY. I'm not sure that the futures market will catch up, but on the ETFs, that's what I'd be looking at. Oh, sorry, folks. Tired. If you've got any questions, now's your time to get it in because I'm about to get off here early. Try and make that Wyckoff video for you today as well. I might even go back to bed to treat myself to some sleep because I reckon I've had about 3 hours sleep. Did not sleep well last night. I won't be on tomorrow morning, I don't think, folks. Normally don't trade FOMC. I'll provide commentary in the room in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't want to trade FOMC the morning before FOMC. I might not even trade FOMC. We'll see. It would get very thin, very fast. And yeah, I like trading the reaction. Either later in the day or the day after. All right, very close here on the ES to breaking down SPY. I still think once that previous day low, NQ not fully let go yet. This seller just being an idiot. What is this? What a goon. Absolute goon. Feels like it's coming. Do they protect it? It feels like they want to do it, but we'll see. Time will tell. I don't care no matter what. Yeah, no worries, Muhan. If I don't speak to you tomorrow, I speak to you Thursday. I'll be here Thursday, Friday this week. I will be taking Monday off next week, folks. I'm in Vegas next weekend. Just got to pray that the start of a monster move does not happen on Monday. Knowing my luck is exactly what's going to happen. But my best mate's flying into town, so I need to go and see him. Right. Come on, SPY. Just go and take it. Just give us something for the rest of the day. This is like the slowest drip ever. ATR now is down to sub 5 points. I mean, that is horrific per 1 minute. Here we go. So ES breaking down. It wants that previous day low on the SPY. Come on. Come and do it. And then I can give these guys what might set up in the afternoon. There's the 10s. New low coming here on ES. It wants previous day low on the SPY. That's what it wants. It just wants to completely eradicate previous day low on the SPY. And once that's done, we can see what's next. Seriously, you're going to miss it again. Once it missed it by this time. 34s to 40. Just 5 cents. Oh, they're protecting PDL right now on the spiders. I was expecting it to come and take it. Might still come for it. It might still come for it. How long we got till lunch? 20 minutes. Maybe they do it. Vic's going for that breakout. Yes, coming back for IB low, as is NQ. Man, I can't believe they left it again. Crazy. Crazy. 940s. Can you expand on bookmap chart a bit so it's a bit more? No, I can't expand it a bit so it's more visible because I'm having to look at both the screens and I need to have it so that I can see it. Sorry, mate. It's the best I can do right now because I'm having to watch both contracts. false breakouts in both directions. How do you avoid? Well, you just know it's the chop. You just know that higher time frame wants to move higher, lower time frame is in a pullback. This is exactly what we did in this area yesterday. Failed break, failed break, failed break, break, back to range, failed break, breakout. What do you think we're going to do in this area? What do you think we do under here? Under here, much better action. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we can get down to here, we can think about the next plays for you in the afternoon, or those of you who are trading tomorrow. But right now, we can't even get down to there. Once we get down there, we can think about it. ES back to IB high. Does it reject here? Same as NQ. Can they reject here and wash down towards this previous day point of control and previous day value? That's what you'd like to see. You'd like to see that because it sets up better trades. It's just a failure to follow through to the downside here at the moment. Here goes SPY. Now it's going to go for it. Now it's going to go for that low after leaving that double bottom. We should get a wash here. There we go. Thank you. Finally doing the move. Right, so previous day low hit here on the spiders. This was the main target, I would say, on the spiders. They've literally tagged it to the tick. You're like, what is he on about? We watch the ETFs for this exact reason. There you go. Green line is previous day low. So this is previous day low. This is what we left earlier, which I said was gross. We shouldn't do that. We came back one more time. We built liquidity here, and then we used that to break down, and now we're bidding off it. So decision point for SPY, right? If they stay heavy, we get daily traders trading lower. If they trap here, all right, then they protect the low and we trade back inside previous day range, right? So this is a daily breakout level, isn't it? That's why it's important. Oh, wow, now we've lost data on NQ. This is fantastic, TradingView. Let's save this and reload it. And it's still got no data. Right. All right, so we're just missing candles now. Thanks, TradingView. Very fun of you. All right, so if you're in this short, TP, TP. Here you go. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. So breakout underneath previous day low on the SPY right now. VIX now finally through that 20s, testing 26s. Can it break through this with volume and go into a risk-off market? Still trading lower, still near that point of control. All the time SPY rejects PDL, we can trade lower, but we're coming into high time frame demand here, down here. And I've got no data, as you can see. So SPY trying to reclaim PDL here. If it reclaims PDL here, you will have a false break on a daily underneath previous day low. This will matter. If they close back inside, this will matter on the SPY. You've got daily breakout traders underneath the lows on the SPY. They might get trapped here. I don't know, Raphael, because TradingView's dumb. I have no idea. I've reset it as well. Probably because it doesn't know where to pull the data from right now, whether it's pulling it from the Z or the U, and it's just getting confused. But this is the Z contract. For whatever reason, it can't see it. It's just a straight candle down there. I don't know why it's struggling to print it. Clearly some issue with the data provider. And we've still got this idiot seller above. Look at this absolute knob. Why are you chasing it down to lift back up, to chase it down to lift back up? What a goon. All right, recovery, previous day low, retesting initial balance here. If they trade through this now, there is potential fail break on the daily on the ETFs. Right, so it's major level now. You might see some relief into lunch. We have been in a sell all morning. It's been a drip down sell, but it has been a sell. Yes, back to IB. VIX failing that breakout. 15 minutes here, folks. Well, yeah, you're in the chop zone from yesterday now. You're in chop zone from yesterday. I would say on a daily that is a failed break so far. Failed to break the low on the spiders. Well, you broke it and turned back inside, and they're trying to reclaim IB. Big levels for them to make decisions here. Somewhat surprised we didn't trade down to point of control and value area low. Wasn't that far away. Protected 500. Only bids are at 500. Not many. They're much below. 4437, 301 lot. Why is that? 4437. What are you bidding off? What the fuck is that? That is a random bid. Is it a fib? Okay, 61. That's what he's bidding off. Gonna say that was a bit odd. Okay, that 4437 is a 61 fib bid from this low to this high. He's bidding 4437 right in here, and that's a 61 fib. So he's looking to fill this imbalance and bid off it right now, but I don't think he's going to get filled at the moment. Oh! All right, folks, I'm going to shut this down 10 minutes early. Nothing's happening here. No more trades to be had for me. ES is protecting a low volume node and initial balance low right now. It did sweep. Spiders did sweep previous day low and turn inside. They've got a decision to make. We haven't had any relief today. We're in a gentle walk down. This sort of trend or channel is continuing. Maybe we come and test these. I don't know. But there's been no like aggressive selling. It's very gently being walked down. Volatility is very low. Your range on the whole day right now, what's that outside of IB, is 100 points on the whole session. All right, so don't oversize. Don't be forcing your way in. We all know everyone's waiting for tomorrow. That's all this is. Just a bit of profit taking in front of tomorrow as we made new all-time highs. That's all this is. Your decision point, all right, should come more if and when we trade under these 500s. Right, this here. Right, this is the drive out. This is a pullback. Do buyers come in here for the rotation, or do they get stuck underneath? If we fail and get stuck here, this here opens up. This is a today or tomorrow trade, or overnight, whatever you want. So either we put in bullish structure for a trade back up, reprice maybe to 61, or we fail under here and wash all the way down to point of origin where we broke out from. Those are the trades setting up. This is the level that I'm watching. I want to see what it does. Basically, previous day point of control, value, area, low, all these areas. This in here becomes key. That's what I would be waiting for right now for the remainder of the day or tomorrow if you're going to watch it. I will not be back tomorrow. I don't think I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see. If I watch the market overnight and I think we're going to get a move tomorrow morning to price something in before FOMC, I will set a live event to go live tomorrow morning at 9:15. Otherwise, I'll see you Thursday. And those in Discord, I'll see you in Discord. All right, folks. Peace and love. Please trade safe. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button on my channel. Share it out. The quicker that this channel grows, the more I can give back to the community. All right, peace out. Trade safe.